This is the Social Factor.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the Social Factor.
Hello.
Hello.
Echo.
So I do want to quickly point out a small error from last week's episode. The day after, David had called me and he said, "Hey, I can't find the episode from yesterday on our site." And I said, "It should be there." We never had an issue with that before with it uploading. And an hour later, he texted me again saying, "Oh, I found it." He said, it's just labeled wrong." I said, "What do you mean?" And he said, "Well, the episode number is a typo. And it should have been episode 18, and I had accidentally typed in episode 11.
Yeah. Which made me very confused. I thought maybe he rerouted 11 back to the front.
Yeah, so basically so if you've been to that episode and you saw it, why does it say episode 11? That was a typing error. It been corrected, and so yes, that is episode 18. That would have been the true story of Atlantis that we did last week. Anyway, this week we were going to do a different topic other than the one that we're actually doing today. However, this topic, to research it and get opinions from the public, has proven more difficult than we thought.
Yeah, we got one side of it.
We're not going to say what it is. We're not going to say what the topic is. But it's for some reason it's easier to get the opinion of people who are against it than for it.
Correct.
Yeah, that's how we're going to say. So, I mean, that'll come eventually, whenever we can get that episode figured out.
After the wedding and our break there
Yep.
for a little bit. I mean, things have been pretty hectic with everything going
Yeah,
on
tell
there.
me
But
about
steady.
Hectic but steady.
Things have been very hectic but steady. Steph and I get
We
married
got
in
2
2
weeks
weeks.
to go, yeah.
And I'm more nervous than they are.
I know, right? And next week is the season finale of the Social Factor. The season 1 finale, and then we're gonna take a couple months off.
Oh, we're taking a couple months. Okay. I thought we'd just take a couple weeks, wedding and honeymoon,
Well,
but whatever.
I kind of thought it would be a couple months, but I haven't. I don't know.
Are you backtracking?
What?
Yeah, he's backtracking because I questioned him.
Yep. My wife has spoken.
I didn't speak, I questioned.
Yeah.
Well, your tone of voice said something else.
Okay, I guess I didn't notice my
kidding.
tone.
Yeah. So basically, yeah, the next week is the season finale, and then we'll be off for at least a couple weeks. We'll say that at least a couple weeks.
Yeah, at least a couple weeks because Josh and I. Well, the wedding is the next Saturday, so the Sunday after that, we're busy, and then we're going on our honeymoon right away, so we will not be back the following week either.
Exactly.
In the area.
Yep. So it will be a little bit, like I said, a couple weeks or whatever. But anyway, so also our website will be launching for season 2.
Yay!
Finally. There's just been a lot of construction on it and stuff like that, and so we built it and then we moved some things around, stuff like that. Some things weren't working on it. So, no, there's no traffic coming to it yet because it's not actually up.
Correct.
It's just some things were like not fitting right on it and stuff like that, so those had to be fixed. But anyway, so let's this week's topic is common misconceptions, and basically what that means is something that you were taught one thing, and the truth is it's actually something else.
Correct, and when speaking of misconceptions, often they're known as wives' tales,
old wives' tales,
or just misinformation that's been going on for generations and won't stop. I mean, every generation believes the same thing.
We're gonna do like an Adam ruins everything up in this episode.
Sort of, not as cool as he is.
Well, that's one of our favorite. What?
We don't quite have the budget like he does.
Oh yeah.
Well, we don't need to. They can't see us.
But as I was kind of researching this, I realized, wow, the amount of stuff we are off on makes you wonder sometimes. Okay, I mean, and I blame everyone from parents to grandparents to teachers, historians, blah 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 blah. Often the misconceptions are actually minuscule type of misconceptions versus the bigger ones. Everybody thinking that Columbus landed in North America, which is not true.
No.
He actually landed in a place we call now El Salvador.
A lot of people also think that Christopher Columbus was responsible for finding America, or that he's this awesome person who did all this great stuff. Hell no.
Well, and Christopher Columbus, we could probably do our own show on him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just based on the fact that it took him 8 years to get the approval from the Queen Isabel, from the Spanish Queen.
Yeah, and if anybody wants to call in or voice their input at any time during the show, the number is 414-949-5778. I'll put that in the comments here in case anybody wants to call in, talk about anything.
Well, and let's get started on this. Basically, we're talking about the misconceptions on a global level. It pretty much starts off with coffee isn't made from beans. You can't see the Great Wall from China, from space, and Everest isn't
Now it
the
gives,
world's tallest mountain.
It gives explanations on this stuff, right?
It will,
Okay.
as it goes on. But I'm giving an introduction. Stop interrupting me.
Sorry.
Okay. So basically, Everest is not the tallest mountain in the world. The top 50 misconceptions that have become modern day facts. Okay, and that's the problem with misconception, is that people think one way as being it, for it to be facts, and then as you will see here, a lot of them aren't. In fact, often you're completely off the mark. Experts have revealed some of the biggest modern day misconceptions. Fox facts, which we believe to be true, including Everest is the tallest mountain. Great Wall of China cannot be seen from space despite common belief. Remember, I've heard that
But
myself.
isn't the Great Wall of China, wasn't that been torn down?
No.
There was a wall that was torn down.
Yeah, it's the the East, the German Wall. What's it called? Jesus.
Berlin Wall?
The Berlin Wall.
Berlin Wall, that's what it was.
Yeah, we're not talking about that.
No,
I knew that there was a wall
great,
that had been torn down.
Yeah.
The Great Wall of China
The China,
was not
yeah,
torn
the,
down.
yeah, the Wall of China has been there longer than the United States plus a few other countries.
Yeah.
All right, so here are other list of 50 misconceptions, and it was apparently now this is a UK based firm that did this investigation, this research, and. List of 50 misconceptions released by London's Ripley's Believe It or Not. Okay, and it's quite amazing. There are all modern facts which we believe to be true, but experts have pointed out that many are simple misconceptions. For example, while Everest is officially the tallest mountain in the world, some claim it technically shouldn't own the title because Mauna Kea is the tallest mountain when measured from the base to summit. Okay, now Mauna Kea is apparently the largest, tallest mountain in the entire world. Part of the base is underwater.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's the reason.
Oh, I think it's spelled IKEA exactly like
Mount
the
Ikea.
store.
Yeah.
Mount IKEA.
Yeah, Mount Ikea.
Is it?
Yeah,
No.
Mauna. It's called Mauna. M-A-U.
Oh, Mauna Kea.
Mauna Kea. Yeah.
Mauna Kea. Okay, so
And
it
the
isn't,
reason.
so it isn't spelled like IKEA the store.
So-
I mean, the ending is.
But because it's looked at as a smaller mountain because they don't include the actual base being underwater. But if you measure from the base to the summit, it is actually larger than Everest.
This is a volcano located in Hawaii.
Yes, it's still considered a mountain.
Yeah. Why making the island of the island of Hawaii the second highest island in the world.
Yep. So it's making it the second highest island in the world.
It says Mauna Kea is a dormant volcano on the island of Hawaii,
Yeah.
standing 4,207 meters above sea level. Its peak is the highest point in the state of Hawaii, making the island of Hawaii the second highest island in the world.
Okay. So moving on, others are just downright myth, such as the Great Wall of China can be seen from space, and the caffeine is dehydrating. It's not. Wow. Holy crap. Many of the Fox facts.
Holy crap. No pun.
Many of the facts that kind of turn into misconceptions date back generations and have become part of common folklore, but are often based on rumors or as a result of Chinese whispers. However, closer inspection reveals that the commonly held assumption, such as eating cheese before bed gives you nightmares, or are in fact not quite as true as they seem. The raft of common misconception was uncovered by Ripley's Believe It or Not, London, a visitor attraction dedicated to the bazaar in Piccadilly Circus. A spokesman said, "If you're told something enough times, you're sure to start believing it." Now, I can definitely agree with that. I'm pretty. I'm pretty. I'm pretty. I'm kidding. All right. The misconception in this list are all pretty plausible, so it's understandable that many Brits or others will have read it and oh my god, I can't read today, and been certain it's true. But many of us being told these from an early age. Unbelievably, all of these common believed facts are in fact common misconception that we have myth and misconceptions. That we have myth and oh my god, I can't even read today. Sorry, public, I'm having a problem today.
Josh, stop dropping the mouse.
I'm trying not to.
We found this research
Thank you, honey.
really interesting, as the whole Ripley's attraction is filled with exhibits that have the believe it or not factor. As our founder Robert Ripley used to say, it is often the strangest things that are true. Okay? So, believe it or not, often the strangest things ring true. The top 50 common misconceptions resolve. Number 1, coffee is made from beans. While it is widely believed that coffee comes from coffee beans, experts say it is actually made from a seed, which is called a bean.
Called the bean? So it's a bean. Coffee is
No,
made
but it's
from
a seed
No.
from a bean.
Oh, it's a seed from a bean?
From a bean.
Or a seed called a bean.
See, it's already starting a
Okay.
conversation in this room. Okay. So, it's not a bean, it's actually a coffee seed, but we call it a coffee bean because the seed comes from a bean. How was that?
Sure.
Okay, number 2 out of the 50. Chameleons change colors to match their surroundings or environment. Believe it or not, chameleons actually change colors as they respond to mood, temperature, communication, and light instead of the object they are touching. So again, they are responding based on like personal moods and
like a
different
mood ring.
lights.
Like a mood ring.
Yeah, a mood ring, exactly. So from now on, chameleons are a mood ring.
They're just moody teenagers. That's what
Yeah,
they
that's
are.
what they are. And again, we already covered this. However, I will repeat it. Mount Everest is the tallest mountain in the world. While Mount Everest is officially deemed the tallest mountain in the world, experts claim that technically it may not be. The summit of Everest is officially higher above sea level than the summit of any other mountain, but Mauna Kea is the tallest when measured from the base to the summit. However, the record books deem it the tallest because it has the highest peak on Earth.
And half of it's in sea level.
Correct, but it has the highest peak on Earth.
Yeah.
So, the Great Wall of China can be seen from space. Now again, we're being a little repetitive here, but it gets better, I promise. The Apollo astronauts confirmed that you cannot see the Great Wall of China from the moon. In fact, all you can see from the moon is the white-blue marble of Earth. So, one
And
misconception
and land.
squatted. Yeah,
Water and land.
that's it.
And clouds.
Lots of clouds. 1 human year is equivalent to 7 dog years. While true in some cases, it does not apply to everyone because it very much depends on the size and breed of the dog. Did you know this? I did not.
I did not.
Okay. So basically, I guess if you have a large breed, probably the years are more equivalent than if you have a smaller breed or, whatever. So I guess it's more specific to the breed and the size. Okay. You lose your body heat fastest through your head. While this is widely believed to be true, some experts say it's a myth and claim humans would be just as cold if they went without a hat as if they went without trousers. So basically, if you lose body heat from your head, or you lose it from your scrotum region, it's going to be the same thing. So yes, I mean, on this, based on this, and this is supposedly scientific, you don't need a hat to stay warm. All right, now here's a good one. The Earth revolves around the sun.
Technically, the planets all revolve. All the planets.
Technically, the Earth, Sun, and all the other planets are orbiting around the center of mass of the solar system.
Mm-hmm.
Not specifically the Sun. So that's of course a technical thing.
The Sun is just apparently near the center of mass.
Exactly. Where is my drink? Have you seen my soda?
Probably in the other room.
Okay. Read the next one.
Okay. Hey, I knew this one. I did knew this one. Different parts of your tongue detects different tastes. I knew that because I think the back of your tongue is the one that detects the sour part. This was scientifically disproven by research. Oh wait, different part. Oh, so it's not true.
It's not true.
This was science. So I knew that one, but it was wrong. Mm-hmm. This was scientifically disproven by research, which found that all taste sensations come from all regions of the tongue, although different parts are more sensitive to certain tastes, which may be where the popular saying comes from. And then, peanuts are a type of nut.
They're not.
Unbelievably, peanuts. I feel like I knew that one.
Can we go back to the dog one for a second? I just looked it up a little bit
Yeah.
more thoroughly.
Yeah, let's do the dog one.
Okay. So I just looked it up a little bit more thoroughly. It's largely dependent on breed. So what I have here for the actual numbers looks like bigger dogs age a lot
Faster.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like when the really small dogs at age 4 of a dog year would be age 32 for humans. The bigger ones are 35.
Oh, okay. So it adds on like just a few years.
Just a few years. It's more
It's
significant.
like a 3-year difference.
It's more significant as they get older. Like 16, at 16, the small dogs are 80 and the giant ones are between 99 and 123. So,
holy shiz.
So it's a bigger difference as it gets older.
So what you're saying is that the numbers between the two, as far as aging, varies to a point where you have a 99 versus 123. That's like, you're looking at a 24-year difference.
And it's all based specifically on how much your dog weighs.
Oh, so I was right about the size part. Okay.
Okay, that's all I have for that.
Okay, thank you for that. Appreciate that. You were talking about... I'm back again, sorry.
Sorry, I needed to add that.
That's okay, perfect. Peanuts are a type of nut. Now...
I feel like I knew that.
In actuality, they're a legume,
Man,
just
I
like...
feel like I knew that. It wasn't true.
just like the bean and what's that, lima bean and stuff like that. It's all legumes. They're just harder, you know what I mean? And they come out of, peanut shells. So, so that's one of those things. Here's a good one. Number 10, giving children sugar makes them hyper. Now, I was told this as a child. Now, I was happy.
I was sugar.
That's
makes
right.
the medicine go down.
That's good. Yeah, if you're watching Mary Poppins, right? Yeah. But as a child, I was told that because I was already a hyperactive kid. In actuality, there's no proof for this. While some experts do stand by this common belief, other professors claim that the majority of scientific research has concluded that sugar does not cause hyperactivity in youngsters. However, it might add some weight on their body, though, if they're not active.
Yeah.
Come on now. Where's the next one? Okay, number 11. Humans have 5 senses. Actually,
There are a
this
lot
is...
more.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. There is actually between 19 and 21 senses.
Really?
Yeah. This is correct, although in actual fact, there are at least 9 senses, and most researchers think there are more like 21 senses. The 5 main senses, sight, sound, touch, smell, and taste, are the ones referred to in this popular saying.
Mm-hmm.
So, when we're talking senses, are they also involving these, like the psychic kinetic type?
No, I think they're involving more like balance and.
Well,
I don't know for sure.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm sure, like, senses, heat, being able to feel heat. But, I mean, this is something that I think we could do an entire show on, I mean, so basically, 5 senses, there's more. Between 9 and 21. All right, let's go this. Fortune cookies are a Chinese tradition.
Well, every time you say something, I feel like my mind thinks of it as fact, and I'm like, oh wait, no, these are false statements.
Fortune
Aren't
cookies.
they Japanese?
Hang on.
Okay.
Fortune cookies were originally the invention of Japanese American
I win anyway.
Americans before being widely adopted by Chinese culture. So
Steph called it.
she did. So apparently it started off in the restaurants, and I know that Japanese Americans would own like food things, and they would usually own Chinese restaurants, especially during the war.
I guess it's also bad luck to eat a fortune cookie that's already been broken in the wrapper.
Mm-hmm.
But it means nothing.
Well, we are superstitious, so...
Yeah, there's a lot of superstition around it that I've never meant anything in the first place.
Next one. What does sushi mean? Someone tell me.
Sushi?
Yeah.
Fish? Rice?
Sushi means what?
Sushi means... Sushi...
What is the significance about sushi?
It's food.
Okay, I'm going to disqualify him completely.
Seaweed. And it's...
You're not getting to the point.
A lot of it's plant and fish
Red
and
hot
seafood.
fire?
What is sushi known for?
It's raw fish.
Thank you, raw fish. Good, that's what I was looking for.
I said that.
However, number 13 on this list. Sushi means raw fish. Sushi actually translates as sour tasting.
Huh. So
But-
wait, so sour tasting or just sour?
Well, sour tasting. If you look at a sushi the way they say in Japan,
You get that phrase out of just 5 letters?
this is part... Listen, sushi actually translated as sour tasting.
Oh, wow.
Meaning it's a cultural thing, okay? It's a
Okay.
Japanese language. We recognize sushi in America as raw fish, okay? Okay, Vikings. Number 14. Vikings wore horned helmets.
This is on Animals Everything, wasn't it?
Yes. While this may be true, experts say there is actually no evidence to suggest that Vikings ever wore horned helmets.
So where did the horned helmets come from?
It was my understanding it was something through theater in the early, late...
They just said,
1900s.
Hey, put on this hat, it looks cool.
No, when productions were starting to show, like, the different shows about Vikings and stuff, it was more of a more modern idea of it.
Yeah,
Okay.
so basically put on this hat, it looks cool.
Yeah.
You guys want to know some of the 21 senses?
Sure, yeah.
Can we do that later? Because
Yeah.
we're in the middle of the show.
Fine.
You're fired! You're fired!
The
Okay.
hell she is.
I'm just
Number
trying
15.
To add stuff.
Yeah. The 15.
Yeah, David.
The forbidden fruit mentioned in the book of Genesis is an apple.
Yeah.
That's a
No.
myth. The
Is
Bible
it an
never
apple?
mentions the forbidden fruit was an apple.
Oh, it doesn't?
It's modern culture they said, well, he wore an apple, and that was kind of further. It could have been a mango for all you know.
So it didn't say what fruit it was, it just said they ate a fruit from a tree?
Amen.
Oh.
The forbidden fruit
Could have been anything.
Well, it was a metaphorical symbol. All right. Number 16. Vitamin C is an effective treatment for cold. What's your guys' thinking on that?
I used to believe it, but then Adam Ruins Everything kind of ruined it for me.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure
the only thing it's good for is boosting your immune system.
Yeah.
However, and that's usually before a cold. So, sufferers don't really derive any benefits from maximizing your vitamin C. Usually a cold, you just go through it no matter what.
Right.
Penguins mate for life.
Don't they just have one partner?
That's what it says. Penguins are mostly monogamous, but there are some species such as the emperor penguin, which are serially monogamous. They mate with one couple for the whole season, but will probably mate with another penguin couple, the following year, as the urgent need for breeding will make them avoid waiting for the same couple.
Well, it's unfaithful.
Understand this. They're not only mating with the female, they're mating with the male as well.
What?
They're mating with the
couple.
couple.
Not that I have anything against that.
Oh my god.
Even gay penguins matter.
Gay penguins matter.
Okay, for anyone out there, if you think that mating with a couple, the way it's written, doesn't imply that both members of the couple were involved, you tell me.
Maybe it means that they just swap females and then take theirs back and do it with them too.
No, it's a couple.
No? Okay.
Couple means two.
Yeah.
And they mate with a couple. All right.
I guess they could swap females still though.
Well, you're hoping. Who knows? All right, back to getting away. All right, enough about penguins. All right, number 18. Caffeine dehydrates you. While caffeinated drinks may have a mild diuretic effect, meaning it makes you poop, meaning that may cause the need to urinate and poop. Some experts believe they do not appear to increase the risk of dehydration. Why do I smell Charlie again?
Because we smell Charlie because that's why.
Charlie, you're a prominent presence.
Yeah, I know.
It's not his fault he farts a lot.
On my foot.
You people are killing me. All right, we gotta go. All right, so enough about the caffeine. It's not known to dehydrate you, but it might make you urinate. When in London, you are merely 6 feet away from a rat. Now, I've never heard that saying.
In London, you're always at least 6 feet away from a rat? Or
This could well be true. This could well be true, but hasn't been proven, and is just a rough estimate, as rodents are not evenly spread apart. So,
is it because there's like a myth that, or there's like a saying that like London sewers are filled with rats or something like that?
Well, as a child, I heard that they had an infestation for hundreds of years of rats. Okay. But you're bound to find more rats in New York than you do in London.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay, so there is a dark side of the moon. As the moon is constantly rotating on its own axis, there is no area of the planet which is in permanent darkness. So that's a myth, people. Hey, that's sushi, by the way. Raw fish.
That is sushi, yes. That is.
Or sour tasting. Hey, penguin.
Is it sour tasting, then?
Yeah, that was the answer for it.
Okay. No, I know, but I was asking her if it's actually sour tasting, and she said no.
Yeah, he was asking me if it was sour because he don't like sushi.
Okay, we got a conversation in the back going on. Just kidding, people. Number 21. A toilet flush will change directions depending upon which hemisphere it is in. Now, you've heard that if you're in Australia, it goes in the opposite direction, right?
Yeah.
No,
flush.
I never heard that.
I have to. And if you're in America, it goes clockwise, Australia counterclockwise, right?
Mm-hmm. The
real cause of backwards flushing toilet is just that the water jets point in the opposite direction.
Okay.
So it's the water jets that are making sure it happens. Isn't that interesting? Nobody told me this before. Okay.
Shows
Number-
you how far outside of the country we all go.
Yep. See, apparently the Australians are no different from us.
Nope.
All right.
Even though they're thousands of miles away.
Oh, it's right. A few more than that. Like, how? Look it up. How far is Australia from Green Bay?
Yeah.
Okay. Mars. The red color we see in images of Mars is just the result of iron rusting. So it's really not it's like the iron rusting that is like up in the air atmosphere. Okay, sunflowers track the sun across the sky.
Well, it's funny because it automatically brought up flights because it knows, hey, you ain't getting there through land.
Well, of course, yeah.
Oh yeah, we're gonna drive across the oceans.
In my paddle boat. In my paddle car.
Yeah.
Alright. So, sunflowers track the sun across the sky. So a common misconception is that sunflowers' heads track the sun across the sky when in full blossom.
It is 9,731 miles from Wisconsin to Australia.
Wow. So again, 9,731 miles from Wisconsin to the Aussie land.
And it looks like it's showing that
Sydney?
it's the center point of Australia that it's
Sydney.
showing. Well, yeah, that's why I tried Googling first.
Yeah.
Green Bay, Wisconsin to Sydney, Australia, because...
I think it's Sydney. Could be wrong. Oh, no. Let's go down a little more.
Where's it showing?
Well, keep on going.
The closest city that we got to it is Finke and whatever that is. However you pronounce that. Tijukala.
Tijukala, yeah. Go down.
Where's Sydney?
Well,
isn't Sydney along the lake? Or along the ocean, I mean? I'm pretty sure Sydney's along the ocean.
Well, what's in the center?
I don't know.
South Australia.
Because Melbourne's down here. Oh, Sydney's right here.
Holy shit, we're way off.
Yeah.
So why is that over there?
Because this is the exact center of Australia.
Hit it, put your thing over it and then read it. What's it saying?
It just says Australia is a country and continent surrounded by the Indian Pacific.
Oh, it doesn't actually give a location. Okay,
No.
Never mind. All right, back to the show.
Okay.
So according to this, it says, the saying was sunflowers track the sun across the sky. According to this, when they're in bloom, they don't do that. However, when they're in the stage of bud, when they're just about to bloom and they're budding and they're growing, they will actually follow the sun, but not when they're in bloom. Okay? People use just 10% of the brain. Now again, a myth. Neurologists describe the myth as false and state we use virtually every part of the brain.
I knew that.
And that most of us, the brain is active almost all the time.
I didn't know that a couple years ago, but you know that when that movie Lucy came out, I researched it a bit more, and it said, hey, we actually do use all of our brain, because what's the point of having a brain if we only use 10% of it?
Well, that's just it, Alright, so, your
Because that movie was completely all about unlocking your entire brain.
Correct. Here's the thing. If once we all pass away, once a person passes away, there's a saying that their hair and their nails are going to grow for a while. Your fingers continue to grow after you die. The heat. Now that's not true. Okay. The dehydration of the body after death can cause retraction of the skin around the hair and nails, giving the illusion that they have grown. However, all tissues require energy to sustain their functions, and such things is possible once the mechanisms that promotes normal growth shuts down at death. So basically, that's a myth. All right, it's number 26. Bats are blind. Despite the tiny eyes and nocturnal lifestyle, none of the roughly 1,100 bat species are blind. So no, they are not blind.
They actually have pretty good eyesight, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
They don't specify if they're good eyesight. They just because they're nocturnal, so they have the ability to see at night. But often they talk about the sonar.
They have really good hearing.
Yeah. All right, number 27. Dropping a penny from the Empire State Building would kill someone.
I watched a video about that on YouTube. That ain't true.
Very good. A penny only weighs about a gram, and it tumbles as it falls. Because of the tumbling and the light weight, there's so much air resistance that the penny never really gathers that much speed before it hits its terminal velocity. A gram of weight traveling at a relatively slow speed might hurt a little if it hits you in the head, but it's not going to kill you. Okay. Excuse me. Handling a baby bird will make its mother reject it. I've heard that one. I was told about that. How about you guys?
I was told about that too.
Yeah.
Okay. Most birds have a very poor sense of smell, so in most cases are unable to even notice human scent on a baby bird. So that was a very simple one. You need to wait 24 hours before reporting a missing person to the police.
All the movies say that, yeah.
Yeah, it's highly incorrect. Movies like to show it. I've never heard a police officer say anything like that to me, but then again, I never had a missing case.
Right, exactly.
There is no rule that states you have to wait 24 hours before reporting a missing person. The person will be recorded as missing and their details made available to other police forces within 48 hours. So
if the person who's randomly shows up and says, "No, I just went to the store," then there you go.
Well, and most people, I can see the child. If it's a child, it's different.
Oh, yeah.
A young child, all of a sudden gone for the last 5 hours, I'd be very worried.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay.
But a lot of times they'll try everything they can to contact that person and figure out anything before they go to the police at all.
Yeah, exactly. All right, 30. Your blood is blue before it oxygenates. Does that make sense? You understand?
I did read that your veins are blue because of the oxygen that's in your blood.
Well, many believe that oxygenated blood is blue. It is actually a myth, because human blood is always red, although the level of redness does differ depending on how oxygenated it is. So basically, we see veins that appear to be blue.
So the vein is blue, but the blood is not.
That's one way to look at it. Yeah, the blood isn't. No. All right. A goldfish has a memory span of 3 seconds.
I've heard that.
Okay. This is not true, as goldfish do actually have a very good memory for a fish. They can be trained to respond various ways to certain colors of light, different kinds of music, and other sensory cues. Very impressive. All right, number 32. You need to wait an hour after eating before you can swim safely.
Yep, heard that.
Yeah, I mean, all my life that's what I thought, right? You're going to drown if you eat.
All I heard was that you'll get a stomach ache.
Correct. As with any exercises after eating, swimming right after a big meal might be uncomfortable, but it won't cause you to drown. However, it is good advice to stay out of the pool right after a big meal, as the digestive process does divert the circulation of blood towards the gut.
And your stomach might cramp.
Yep. And to a certain extent, away from the muscles, meaning swimming could feel harder.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it's really a thing about blood supply and how it focuses on the belly instead of your external. Your.
Yeah.
All right. Bulls are enraged by color red. Now, the matadors in Spain.
I heard that like my entire childhood. I mean, growing up on a farm, my dad would tell me that all the time.
Well, here it is. It is a proven fact that bulls only see blue and yellow. Did you know that?
So they can't see red.
They only react to the red cape because of the movements that flutter around.
They basically just get pissed.
So it's the movement that attracts them.
Exactly.
All right, seasons are caused by the Earth being closer to the Sun. As Earth orbits the Sun, its tilted axis always points in the same direction. So, through the year, the different parts of the Earth get the Sun direct rays. So, different parts of the Earth get that beautiful radiant light. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Going once, going twice. Okay. Eating lots of chocolate will give you spots. I've never even heard that one.
What?
Wait, so what's that last one you said about the Earth? Is that true or false?
Well, the first thing I said about it, the seasons are caused
Oh, right.
by the Earth being closer to the sun. That's a misconception. Earth orbits the sun. As it orbits the sun, it tilts its axis pointing
Right.
Points in the same direction.
Right.
And I struggle with...
So the sun's rays are basically pointed directly at us.
Correct, and because it's a different axis, different... Like, for instance, a portion of one world is kind of celebrating Christmas, and the other world is celebrating the 4th of July. You understand what I mean?
This next one I've never heard of before.
Okay. Eating lots of chocolates will give you spots?
Yeah, I never heard that one.
Yeah, there is no concrete evidence that suggests eating more chocolate can cause spots. Like chocolate spots, brown spots.
She'd be a Dalmatian by now.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yep.
Alright, here's one for the ladies. Shaving your leg hair will make it grow back quicker.
Well, that's a common misconception with all hair, even especially facial hair. They say that as you're hitting puberty, there's the myth that says the more you shave your hair, your facial hair, the faster it'll come back, and it's not true. It's not true at all.
Well, let me get to it here.
Okay.
Thank you for that explanation. Many believe shaving body hair makes it grow back quicker. But shaving hair doesn't change its thickness, color, or rate of growth. Shaving facial or body hair simply gives the hair a blunt tip, which might feel coarse or stubbly for a period of time as it grows out.
Yeah, when you first hit puberty and you start to grow facial hair, you'll look like you're growing pubes on your face. But then after you exit puberty and you start to grow up into a man, then that hair will start to actually grow in a lot nicer, and it'll actually start to look normal and nicer.
And with 2 minutes left, I'm gonna do 3 more. All right, Frankenstein was the name of the monster in Mary Shelley's book Frankenstein.
No.
Okay.
No.
Frankenstein was the name of the monster's creator.
Mm-hmm.
Microwave
It was
radiation.
Frankenstein's monster.
Yep. Microwave radiation can cause cancer. Do you believe that?
That was a myth when I was younger, but now I know that it's not true.
Very good.
But a lot of people still believe it.
Correct.
They don't want to have microwavable meals at all or anything because they're scared.
Mm-hmm. That's very true, yeah. But yeah, Dr. Frankenstein wasn't the person who created the monster. It wasn't Frankenstein himself.
Correct. He never actually had a name, did he?
No.
I don't know, but I just know it's Dr. Frankenstein.
It's alive.
Yeah.
It's alive. Well, most experts say that microwave ovens don't give off enough energy to damage the genetic material or the DNA in cells, so they can't cause cancer. Okay. Men think about sex every 7 seconds.
Every 7 seconds.
While some men might think about sex this often, there is no real evidence to support this statement.
I'd like to think men have more important things on their minds.
Right.
Now when I was young, that's all I ever thought about.
Well, I'm sure when you're right around puberty, maybe because your testosterone is building up, and you're starting to become a man, and you're.
But not every second. You're not. No.
No.
But anyway, that's pretty much it for this episode. We will cover unfortunately not in the next episode because we have a different topic planned for the season finale. I'll say this. We're going to spend the next week getting prepared for what we have planned for the season finale. However, if we do need more time for that episode to gather all the research and stuff like that, then we will finish the misconceptions. However, if we do end up being able to do the planned next week's topic, then we will do misconceptions in another season.
Well, I think that we're doing well on what we got. And I want to say, ciao bello.
See you next week.